Good morning, my awesome friends and followers of this wonderful channel, and not forgetting the members of the channel. Thank you for your continued support as we move towards what I would like to say, is it freedom of speech and transparency? I don't think there is freedom of speech in today's nonsense, especially on social media. Social media, each platform has their own guidelines and policies. But it's not to do with guidelines and policies which cuts away our freedom of speech. It's not. Because we all know what hate speech is. We all know that you can't say certain things. You can't accuse people. You can't defame people. You can't slander. All the rest of it. So we know that. So we don't do it. But what we then have is, not only do we have guidelines and policies for each platform, but then we have the people that monitor. The individuals that are paid to monitor and fact check. They are the problem on all platforms because they have opinions and they're the ones that get offended. Sometimes they will silence you because they're offended, and even if it doesn't fall within the guidelines and policies of that social media platform. Anyway, let's get that off my chest. Yes, so it is. It's Monday the 7th of October, and it is a stark reminder of what happened last year in Israel when Hamas killed hundreds of innocent people and then kidnapped many, many others. I'm not going to go give the exact number in case I get that wrong or I'm slightly out by one or two, and we wouldn't want to offend anyone. But yeah, a day of reflection, let's just call it. Let's not dwell into it. Murder is happening all over the world. You have good, you've got bad, you've got saints and you've got evil. But there we go. Yeah. Sad, isn't it? And by the way, I might want to point this out. Last night, a male, don't know, but a male in Brighton. What they did in Brighton is down near the beach area, they had a little memorial built. It had white rocks around it. It had a thing on. It was to do with the anniversary of the attacks in Israel. Someone had done a lovely memorial and a man went and smashed it all up. He's been caught on camera. They're just trying to figure out who the exact man is. So if any of you live in Brighton and you know who this was, then please tell the authorities and have this man arrested for not only damage of property, but inciting hatred. Disgusting, isn't it? And I'm for this. I'm going to be honest. If you don't like England, leave. If you don't like Scotland, leave. If you don't like Ireland, leave. But don't come here and then bitch about our culture. I just don't like people that do that. And they're the ones that cause division and hatred. And that's why you have division and hatred. Because people want to come to the UK for our benefits, our healthcare, but they don't like us. I mean, it's just disgusting. If you don't, yeah. The law needs to change, doesn't it, to protect everyone from outsiders. It really does. Hopefully that will happen sooner than later. And Rebecca Vardy, if you didn't know, Rebecca Vardy had this big issue with Colleen Rooney. Well, Rebecca Vardy is going back to court against Colleen Rooney. And I have always been against Rebecca Vardy for what she did. However, I'm going to firmly say I'm standing in her court on this one because Rebecca Vardy has received a 1.8 million legal bill. Now, I get it. She has to cover the costs because she lost. She covers the costs. But Colleen Rooney, why would you do that? For instance, you have a lawyer who turns up. He's going to represent you. He has to stay in a place. He chooses a hotel. Right? Okay, you've got to cover that. But I'm going to be honest with you. Your lawyer didn't have to choose. Colleen Rooney's lawyer did not have to choose a 5-star hotel. He didn't, but he did. Now, if I'm honest, should Rebecca Vardy cover that bill? Maybe 50%. I think 50% should be covered from Colleen. I think it's terrible. But as well as that, Colleen Rooney expects Rebecca Vardy to cover the cost of his food, his mini bar in his room. Come on. And really? Has no one taught these people? You can't put that down. A lawyer can't put that down as expenses, the fact he's been drinking from the minibar. Surely he can't. And I don't see why Rebecca Vardy would have to cover that bill. I think this time she's right and that bill needs reduced. He had to eat anyway. Why is Rebecca having to pay for his food? Colleen should cover that separately. In my opinion, she should cover it. Yeah. But anyway, as we move on, the pensioners are being hammered, aren't they? Our pensioners are being hammered by this new government. And the one thing that I've noticed, which is it a good thing? I suppose there's always a reason why the government does things. UK taxpayers are being hammered, pensioners are being hammered, but at the same time, the money we're giving away outside of our country is increasing. It's terrible, isn't it? Well, the Chancellor had this idea, was to tax pensions, pension rate. Well, that idea is now being scrapped. So we've got a few more pounds that we can give to our children, haven't we? Quite sad, but it is. And for the first time in London, the very first time in London, anti-Semitic hate crime has overtaken Islamophobia. Well, in my opinion, I don't like going to London. I really don't. I get anxiety, and it's because of my PTSD. What I do if I have to go to London is I try and go early. If I have to go anywhere, I want to go early. And I usually take someone with me. Let's call them a chaperone. But I usually go with someone. And I get the train from Ipswich into London Liverpool Street. And then I avoid the tubes. I avoid those tubes. I do not want that tight space. I do not like not being in control. I then come out of the train station, up the steps, and I walk around and I walk to where I'm going. Whether it is the Union Jack Club, whether it's towards House of Commons, whether it's towards a hotel or a meeting place. And it's not too bad walking. Yeah, the streets are crowded, but you know, I'm in control, aren't I? Yeah, and I don't like it, but it has its beautiful spots, London. Not gonna lie, it really does. But I try and avoid it. There is time. I do have to go down soon. Actually, I've been invited down to a certain area, and I need to attend that. So that's there's no diary date. I haven't got a diary date yet, but yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm doing this video early this morning because it is quite early this morning actually. Yeah. The sun's just come up because I'm leaving very shortly. I have to go and do a task this morning, and I'm looking forward to that, sort of. I'll let you know further out today how that goes. Yeah. King Charles has decided that he's going to put his cancer treatment on pause for the next 11 days, or should I say, for 11 days, so he can go and do an 11-day tour of Australia, I suppose. There's no other way of getting around that. Yeah, so he's going to pause his cancer treatment while he goes to Australia and then restart it when he gets back. But he will have doctors on call when he's over in Australia. You can guarantee that. And this morning I've woken up to find out that Sir Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, has actually sacked his chief aide, his chief, Sue Gray. There's going to be a fallout, isn't there? There's going to be a massive fallout on that because she was Conservative and she defected and she told Sir Keir Starmer all these sneaky little things to help him get into power. And now that he's in power and he's gone rogue, he's got rid of her. So stand by for the fallout of that. That is going to be epic. It really is going to be epic, isn't it? Wow. Shocking. Wow. And Giovanni Perez, the dancer from Strictly, who's being constantly attacked non-stop day and night by Amanda Admington. Well, guess what? He's not even in the UK. He's in Italy now. And there's still stories getting back about him where they're trying to destroy him. And I think this is an orchestrated takedown of him now. Because he's in Australia. Sorry, that's a lie. He's in Italy. And it's alleged that he's seen a man, an epileptic man. And apparently Giovanni went, look at that spaz. Anyway, how did that get back? Now, let's say he did say that. How did that get all the way back to her and the papers? I mean, I think it's an orchestrated, a takedown of him. They want rid of him, but he hasn't done anything wrong. So they're struggling. He just left Strictly in the UK and he's now on the Strictly programme in Italy and they're still going after him. I mean, in my opinion, that woman's demented and needs stopped. I mean, her parents are even speaking out and saying, please, Giovanni, we're really sorry. It's quite sad. Quite sad to see anyone have a public meltdown, isn't it? But it's all within us. It's all within us. And I'm trying my best to bring on some awesome guests on the podcast. I've got about 6 or 7 that said they would come on, but it's trying to get within people's schedules. People's schedules are always booked up, and it's trying to fit a gap in there and trying to get that out, you know. Even if I can get them on for 10, 15, 20 minutes to have a chat with them, it'd be fantastic. But I understand that everyone's busy, everyone's got a schedule, everyone's got diaries, and yeah. We'll see. Anyway, fingers crossed for the future. But listen, people, I want to say thank you very much for those of you who have stood by my channel. I want to say a big thank you to those who've joined as members. A massive thank you to those that are leaving reviews on Amazon. And just a thank you to those that support. Anyway, listen, have a wonderful day, everyone. And remember, stay safe, okay? Keep your circle tight. Delete those that bring in negativity. And stay positive.